the speedrunner who picked Serf in hell mode and humiliated the entire kingdom. He never expected that after reincarnating into another world, he could actually choose to become a hero or a demon king. But this cold-blooded speedrunning legend deliberately locked in the lowest class possible, a dirt-poor serf, because in his last life no game ever kept him playing longer than 6 or 7 months. He craved something he could grind for decades. It felt like the gods themselves heard the prayer and dropped him straight into the ultimate endless sword and magic world. When the difficulty screen appeared, he didn't hesitate. He slammed hell mode, ignored every overpowered hero and demon king option, and picked the 8-star experimental summoner class that was still in testing. Locked at serf rank forever. He thought it sounded insane and confirmed instantly. The screen exploded in white light and pulled him in. He woke up as a newborn baby. Now he was 1 year old, dressed in rags, born into a rundown serf family on the outskirts of Willow Creek, Colorado. Luckily his mom and dad were the real deal, loving, hardworking, the kind who made the long grind feel worth it. Ever since he arrived, he had hammered the status button hundreds of times with zero luck. Then one day the grimoire materialized out of thin air. Only 2 pages. One showed his trash stats. The other laid out the full summoner skill. Every creation and summon fed infinite experience. The class could level forever. Right now he could only craft the weakest H-rank bugs and beasts. Suddenly the page glowed with an apology letter from the god of creation about the 6-month beta delay. Jake just smirked. He was too fired up to care. He tried summoning anyway. Nothing happened. Using every pro-gamer instinct, he realized he had to craft a card first. He was right in the middle of it when his mom walked in. He fake slept like a pro and she left. The next day at noon, dad out chopping wood and mom busy in the yard, Jake finally got his window. He named the grasshopper Hopper. The card lit up with a built-in blessing system. Its stats stacked straight onto him. Over the following days, he cranked out H-rank mice with the dash skill. Dumb, but they obeyed every command perfectly. Hopper had jump. They looked pathetic against this world's monsters, but 10 summons gave him a full 10-point attack boost. His tiny 1-year-old body already had more stamina than normal kids twice his age. The catch? Hell mode made leveling 100 times harder. He heard his dad returning and ran outside covered in blood from the wild boar hunt. Mom almost had a heart attack until she realized it was just splatter. Every winter the men of Willow Creek marched into the monster woods just to survive. Jake begged to see the carcass. He expected a big pig. What he saw was a house-sized C-rank monster that took 20 grown men to bring down. Jake memorized every single detail like it was endgame raid data. 6 months flew by in a blur of secret grinding. He pushed create and summoned to level 2. Extra storage slot unlocked. The grimoire gained fusion. Now he could craft G-rank beasts and combine them. His blessing power doubled overnight. He was starving for mana and real food, so he ate first like any smart gamer. Then he turned 3 years and 10 months old with 14 new G-rank summons in his deck. He fused a frog and a mole into a bird-type beast with perfect mimicry. It could copy any sound and throw enemies into chaos. The frog taunted. The mole dug instant pitfall traps. Jake studied every stat, every synergy, treating the whole class like the ultimate strategy game he had always dreamed of. That was how you survived, and how you eventually took over. Around then Kayla, the neighbor girl his exact age, kept dragging him out to play. She had freakish natural speed and strength. Even with every blessing stacked on himself, Jake still couldn't beat her. His mom got pregnant again. He tried to help around the farm, but his parents shut it down hard. They wanted him to enjoy being a kid while he still could. In this world, serfs stayed serfs forever, unless the appraisal ceremony at age 6 or 7 said otherwise. The gods themselves decided if you had talent. A few months later his mom went into labor. Jake was terrified, but he did everything he could. Kayla's family rushed over to help. After hours of pain and prayers, at sunrise the cry of a healthy baby boy filled the shack. Mom and little Liam were safe. Dad already had the name picked. The family celebrated, but Jake knew the real game was only beginning. He kept grinding in total secret for the next 3 years. Then the appraisal ceremony hit Willow Creek. Nobles and royal mages rolled in from the capital, sneering at the serf kids like garbage. The head appraiser laughed when Jake stepped up. Waste of time on this peasant. Jake placed his hand on the crystal without a word. The orb exploded with blinding white light and cracked down the middle. The appraiser's face went ghost white. Hidden S-rank talent. Legendary summoner. In hell mode from a serf? The entire square lost their minds. Before anyone could react, a blood-curdling roar shook the ground. A massive monster horde led by a savage B-rank dire wolf was charging straight for the village. Screams everywhere. Warriors charged, but they were outnumbered and outclassed. Jake stayed ice cold in the chaos. One thought opened his grimoire. Dozens of perfectly fused max-level summons exploded onto the battlefield. Aerial mimics screaming fake commands, moles ripping open pitfall traps, frogs taunting the biggest threats, and swarms of strengthened beasts striking in flawless formation. The villagers could only stare in stunned silence as this quiet 7-year-old serf kid commanded an army that tore the horde to pieces. When the dire wolf leaped straight at the terrified nobles, Jake's strongest fusion beast slammed into it like a freight train and ended the fight in seconds. The monsters were annihilated. The village was saved. The same nobles who had mocked him dropped to their knees, bowing in fear and awe. Jake stood there covered in dust, surrounded by his loyal summons, and just smiled. He never needed to be the chosen hero or the demon king. He picked the hardest, lowest path on purpose, and he was only getting started. The serf who broke the entire system had just begun his legend.